Mirror work. Oh my God, mirror work is so powerful. If you want to work on affirmations and shifting how you talk to yourself, the strongest way to do it is mirror work. I also learned that from Miss Louise Hay. Okay, so can't take credit for that, but she recommended that you get in front of the mirror every day, preferably before you make up, jewelry, you do your hair, and you see what you look like, and you say to yourself kind and loving things. Now, let me tell you, it's not easy, especially, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not a man, so I can't say that, but I just assume because from just my women friends and being a woman, especially for women, I mean, the first thing we do as soon as we look at ourselves in the mirror is criticize. Oh my God, my hair, it looks terrible. It's this, my face, I see my new wrinkles. Oh my God, I'm getting heavy, or, I'm getting chunky, or I'm too thin, or, I'm starting to look old. Like that is it. Those are the things that we say to ourselves on a regular basis, right? Some people even go deeper and say even more horrible things and look at themselves and say, you're an idiot. You're so effing stupid. That's how we talk to ourselves. That is not loving, and that is not going to shift the energy to bring abundance into our life. Because if that's how you're talking to yourself, but in the same breath, you're asking for this wonderful relationship and somebody else to love you, and you don't love yourself, you're not going to attract a loving person. You may attract another person, but that person is just going to reiterate what you're already saying to yourself. So they're going to be maybe verbally abusive or emotionally distant, or abandon you or whatever, because you've abandoned yourself. You're not loving towards yourself. So mirror work is super powerful. It's not easy, but it's so worth it. So I made a commitment a few years ago, maybe even more than a few now. Time is, like I said, moving so fast, that I was going to do at least 30 days of every single morning. I would get up, I would go get my coffee, I would go sit at my vanity, and I would say things to myself by looking myself in the eye and telling myself what a wonderful person I was. I love you. I would say, I would compliment certain things that I liked about myself. You start small. You don't have to be like, oh, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, because in the other part of your brain, you're like, no, you're not. Shut up. And that's how we talk to ourselves, right? So you want to say, oh, you know what? I really like my eyebrows. You have really nice eyebrows, something simple if you're going to go for the physical, because really you want to go more for the emotional, but you want to add a little bit of the physical to yourself. You want to say, oh, you have a beautiful smile. You could say that and use your name. Say to yourself using your name. Like I'd say, Melissa, you're a wonderful person. I love you, Melissa, because that's what Louise recommended. She would say, Louise, I love you so much, Louise, when she was looking in her eyes. And it's not easy, and you're going to see how you resist it, because that's a good indicator where you are. And also, if you can't look yourself in the eye when you're saying these things to yourself, then this is exactly what you need to be doing. And it does change. I have gotten so good at not criticizing myself in the mirror, because I took that 30 days, and then I went 60 days, and then I went 90 days, and then I went I think even longer. I think I did it like 4 or 5 months consistently. And now I'll walk by a mirror and I'll be like, oh, look at you, you look good, you're cute, or whatever, or look how smart you are, whatever I say to myself. I haven't gotten as good on photos. I'm not as good on photos. I notice I criticize myself, and it's usually about the way I look. And I've gotten better, but the mirror stuff, oh my God, and it shifted so much. I cannot stress enough how much it shifted how I feel about myself, and how much more loving I am to myself. And that rippled out to having stronger boundaries. No is a complete sentence. I am not going to tolerate that behavior. So many things. I highly recommend it. If you want to shift your life, mirror work is one way to do it, and it's a powerful one. Okay, bye-bye.